Hi, I want to spend just a minute walking you through the portfolio development Blackboard site, just to let you see the variety of supports that have been provided for you so that you can be successful with developing part one, the teacher growth section of your portfolio. Remember, you have to pass the portfolio to be able to graduate the program. So it's important for you to take some time to get to know the Blackboard site and all the supports that it offers, because it'll make it much easier for you to submit something that is spot on the very first time instead of having to redo it through multiple submissions. So, home and announcements are always important. I will not be posting announcements as an individual coach, but the announcements come from our lead coach and impact the entire group of people taking the course this particular term. You'll note as we walk through other sections of the site how we're broken up into our coaching groups. Portfolio overview is just that. You click and it will take you to everything you need to know about the basics of the portfolio, why it's important, what the different sections are called. Coach structure provides information about who coaches who, and additionally provides pictures of the variety of people who are coaching. You can see there I am. I'm a secondary coach. I live in Burke, Virginia, and this just allows you to know a little bit more about me. If we scroll back up, some of the more important parts, I think, for you, of course, are the rubrics. But to keep you on track, there's a calendar. And if you check, the calendar will tell you every day what is due for this particular course. Like, here's all the different courses I'm associated with. And I have unchecked the majority of those. This is the course for this summer, so it will come up in green. I'll click off the rest of those just as you could. And then you'll see that the only thing left on my calendar is the digital portfolio. So if I click here on the calendar, it says that the evidence plan is due at 11:59 on the 1st of May. And again, this will help you keep on track and know exactly where you're supposed to be and when. Each of the modules is identified in this section, very well laid out, exactly what you have to do to be successful, all the dates, what you should have done so far. The Getting Started module you should have taken a look at. See all the due dates, what the expectations are for you and what the expectations are for me. And then for each of the things that is due, you'll see that there is a section identified for it here. So for the evidence plan, you click on that and it will take you to some additional information. But one thing that it will take you to in particular is the actual template for the evidence plan. This is your first assignment. This is what is due to me May 1st at 11:59. For this, we are asking that you review sample portfolios and all the materials here that talks about each one of these standards and outcomes in the first part, the teacher growth section of the portfolio. These 10 items are aligned with the 10 in-task principles, which you've had lots of exposure to in other courses. What we're asking you to do is read each one of these and really think about, okay, what would be evidence that I do that in my teaching? What would show someone that I understand how students learn and understand how they develop? And then you start listing items here. What kind of evidence might you have? And the rationale is why. Why did you pick an example of student work? Why did you pick a lesson plan? Why did you pick a paper that you did in one of your Hopkins courses? And again, In this set of supports that we have available for you, you'll see a list of all the papers and assignments that you've done throughout your program and where they align in the portfolio so they can be used. Now, of course, a paper for a class would not be a single piece of evidence that would support the fact that you know how to do something with students. So that may be a part of your evidence. So we want to think about evidence as being multi-layered. So a lesson plan, that's great, but with that lesson plan, you might want to have an example of student work, a reflection that you did, some particular activities that you used during class to be able to show us that you have done what you need to do to demonstrate that you understand that particular standard. Sorry about the phone. We will do this for the all 10 standards right now to provide me with a sense of what you're thinking about. And then after you submit that on May 1st, we will meet individually and have a conversation in Adobe Connect probably, where I will pull up your evidence plan and we will talk through it. I'll give you some additional suggestions about what you can do, the kinds of things you can use in your portfolio. Now, the key for you guys, because it's summer, is the fact that you will be leaving your classrooms. And I have tried to reach out to people in emails, in blog posts, in the announcements, and remind you that you really need to, as you're thinking about this, and one of the reasons we're doing this evidence plan now is to allow you to start gathering together the things that you need to be able to be successful throughout the rest of the summer when your materials might be at school. So I know many of the things that you have will be on a flash drive or on your laptop. But if we're asking for examples of student work, or you have a interactive bulletin board that you did for your students, or there's a simulation that you do, and you have that captured on video or audio or through pictures or a PowerPoint presentation, make sure that you have taken pictures and have accessed those things so that you can have an opportunity to use them during the summer. Another thing to think about is if you are changing schools or you are moving, one of the big aspects of the teacher growth part that carries over into the student growth section is number 7, planning for instruction. So note that number 6 and number 7 in the teacher growth has to align with the DAG, the Dramatic Academic Growth section of the student growth portion of the portfolio that you will do later. So if you are changing schools, if you are changing content, if you are leaving the classroom, you will need to make certain that you review what's required for the dramatic academic growth, which are test scores and both qualitative and quantitative types of data, and gather that up as well before you leave and pack up and cross country or leave the classroom for another position. There's a lot to think about, and I'm here to help you figure that out. Let's go back to the course here. And just so you know, I have had 20 years of experience with portfolios. I actually helped Hopkins develop the first electronic portfolio back in the 90s. And so, I think I will be a great coach to help you identify the things that you need to do throughout the course of the summer. I wanted to show you the coaching groups here. So you'd have to scroll down to find us, and they're not in alphabetical order. So we're down here in the secondary group. There's all your names. And then in the group blog, I post there fairly regularly. This was the first one that I posted. Keep calm and portfolio on with some of the basics of what you needed to do. Talked a little bit about the evidence plan. Here was one that I wrote on Sunday, and you'll need to come here on a fairly regular basis to check. You should get an alert that I have posted something, but please make sure that you go and check those out. The other section is the discussion board. Some of these are, again, for the entire group, everyone taking this portfolio course this summer. So this is ask your peers, off-topic conversations. These aren't monitored by anyone. But then again, you scroll down, you get to the secondary section, you'll see me, and here are what I have posted so far in the discussion board. The first one was the welcome. It is also the same email that I sent to you. There's a place for everyone to introduce themselves, and then evidence plan artifact ideas or questions. So if as you're going through trying to develop your evidence plan for the rest of the week or over the weekend, feel free to post there, or please send me an email or text me a question and I can get back to you as quickly as possible. We'll use Adobe Connect often for our discussions, again, so that you can share your work and I can share mine. And those also are set up in groups. So you click into our classroom and enter, and then we would have our discussions there. So I'm really excited about working with you over the course of the semester, short though it may be. And here again is another resource that's on the website, Teacher Growth and Learning. It gives you the in-task principles so that you can understand. Here's question 1, things to think about in relationship to in-task standard 1. What kinds of evidence might be good to have? It lists them here. And so it's really, I think, a dynamic learning environment that presents information in a variety of ways. You can see portfolio examples from last term. You have these kinds of resources. There are lists of papers and alignments, and you have the rubrics. So everything, I think, just really works well and to your advantage if you meander around and sort of play around in this site. There's not too much you can, there aren't any missteps that you can make, I think. So please take time to peruse and review this site. Look for the specific things you need to do to complete your evidence plan, which is your first assignment. And again, if at any time you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and I'll be happy to help you. Have a great rest of your day, and I hope to be talking with you soon.